Welcome to I Do Canals. If you've just watched our previous video, you will know that this is about our courageous daughter Layla and her battle with cancer. Well, at the beginning of this video, we said that we'd had an absence of recording videos, and this is the reason. This is Layla, this is our youngest daughter, and Layla's been through a journey we would not wish on anybody. It's been difficult, hasn't it?
Harrowing.
Harrowing. So, Layla, why don't you tell us what happened?
So, if we're going from the very beginning, about a year ago, I had some chest pains, and we had all put it down to having a chest infection or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly clear, but I went to the doctors, and then they had put it down to my anxiety, so I was medicated for that. But the pains had still continued, although lessened, they were still there, and they'd been there for a couple of months, but I just got used to that.
Right.
And then, out of the blue one day, around last year, November time, I had suddenly found a lump on my neck.
Yeah.
And it was only small at first, like nothing you wouldn't be suspicious about. At first I thought it was a cyst.
It got really big though, didn't it?
It did. It grew about, from the size of, must have been about a marble at first.
Right.
And then it went to about a ping pong ball.
Yeah.
So, and that was not overnight, but within a couple of days. So, of course, I went to you and Mum, concerned, and that's when we whizzed off to the hospital.
We went to A&E and we had a wonderful afternoon, evening and early morning, didn't we? How many hours did we spend?
13 hours.
13 hours in A&E.
Quite a long time.
It was, but we saw a barrage of specialists, didn't we, that night? Really helpful people. And at first they said, we don't think it's cancer. And you and I kind of went, yay, because it wasn't that long ago that I'd been through cancer. So we were needless to say, we were a bit concerned.
They actually thought it was glandular fever.
Yeah.
But I actually said to you, that's not glandular fever because I've had that.
No, it was very confusing one way or another, wasn't it?
Yes.
But they did say, what did they have you come back for?
They made me come back to have a biopsy to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Because although I had the symptoms of glandular fever, it could have also been something else and they needed to be sure.
Right.
So I went back for the biopsy and we had to wait about a week for the results. But then we went in a week later and unfortunately we were told that it was cancerous.
It's quite a shock, wasn't it?
It was a shock. I mean, you'd expect someone to cry, but I didn't cry at first. It was more just...
I think you were really, really strong throughout the whole thing. And it's one thing going through cancer yourself, but watching one of your youngest children do it is one of the toughest things I've ever done. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But they then transferred you to UCLH in central London, didn't they?
Yeah, so I got transferred and all of the biopsy, everything that they had done at their previous hospital was transferred over. And they double checked the biopsy to make sure because they wanted to be 100%. And then on the 25th of January this year, it was confirmed to be Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yep.
That's the only information we actually got, but we were given other information about the side effects that come with this, the treatment, and from there we decided on the day, there was no hesitation, decided I would do the chemotherapy.
Yeah.
But other side effects that do bring concerns were fertility side effects.
Yeah, they were quite high, weren't they? The risk to fertility was almost 50%, which, you know. So what did they do?
I was offered an egg removal treatment, which I decided to go ahead with because I would like children.
Did you take your own egg box into the thing? I can't help it.
But we went through with it. It was I think it was a 13-day process.
Yeah.
So it was 2 injections a day. And after that, the eggs were removed. I got knocked out for that.
How many eggs did they get?
17.
17 eggs.
Well, they had 18 in total.
That's a lot of grandchildren, isn't it?
17 of them.
You'll have to get a big house.
No, thank you.
And a bus. No. Carry on, sorry.
We had
interrupt.
18 in total, but 17 made it through the whole process of egg storage.
Which is pretty good.
And then it was 4 days after that I started my first chemotherapy session.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 days.
And at first the chemo, it was like when I had it, you think, you have it and think, oh, that was all right. But within a matter of days, you had quite a lot of pain.
Yeah, it was a week after. So I finished the first round, which was 4 sessions.
4 sessions,
of chemo.
wasn't it? Yeah. And 5 types of chemo in those 4 sessions.
4 to 5 types.
Yeah.
And then it was a couple of days after that I had this agonising pain. It kept me up all night and I didn't say anything about it.
She got into
No,
trouble for
she
that.
didn't.
She was under strict instructions. I said, look, we're a room away. Ping a text or phone if you can't get out of bed. And did nothing. We were very cross with you, weren't we? She got
Yes.
ticking off in the car.
But
So we went to A&E again, didn't we?
Yeah, after
initially.
ringing my oncologist, she told us to go to A&E and we got washed right through.
Yeah.
I had a blood test done and we had to wait a couple hours for the results, but with the results, nurse came in and took you straight out of the room.
I was told, get out. What? Out. You were neutropenic sepsis, weren't you?
Yep.
And if for those who don't know what that means, what does that mean?
It's a type of sepsis of the blood, and from my research, it can kill somebody within 12 hours if untreated.
The smallest infection, a
Smallest
cold or anything
infection.
like that. Really
Um,
serious.
Which meant I had to stay in the hospital for 6 lovely days.
She doesn't like hospitals.
I do not like hospitals.
She wittered so much,
Yeah, she did.
honestly.
Um,
I don't want to.
and what was worse is my parents could not visit me
No.
because they were ill at the time.
Yes,
Yeah, we
got
had an
that
awful
flu,
bug, didn't we?
So
And we
was-
talk about timing.
Yeah.
Had she got that bug?
It could
Yeah.
have been
Wow.
dreadful.
Yeah, it could have been it, couldn't it?
But it took 6 days. I could not walk properly. It was awful. I was on constant IV drips, pain
Yeah.
relief. I couldn't eat properly because for some reason the pain in my chest prevented me from doing that. And it took 4 days initially for me to be able to walk properly again without having to be assisted by a nurse.
Right.
And then 6 days later, I was thankfully allowed to be released after.
We had flags and bunting and a brass band and
And then I think it was about a 2-week wait before my next round so that I could get back on my feet.
yeah.
But it was that round that they gave us a lovely pain relief known as oxycodone,
Yeah.
which was basically my
And
lifesaver.
she wouldn't share any with us.
So very tight with that, weren't they?
But it was a lifesaver. It
God, yeah.
helped
I saw you in
most of
pain,
it.
and that was tough. Watching that and being unable to do anything was just so hard. And you know, you were at one point you were not screaming in pain, but pretty close, and powerless. And they gave you morphine, which didn't really do very much, did it?
Well, that's
I
where
think
you
you're just
don't-
difficult.
You don't know all of that. The second round, we got through 4 of the GCSF injections, which is what caused the pain. Which GCSF is
They make your bone marrow generate antibodies, don't they, to
Yeah.
catch back up with the lack of immunity.
but because you've got bones everywhere, it affects everywhere.
Yeah, everything hurt.
But the second round went into hospital and neutropenic sepsis once again. We were told to expect it this time though, so we weren't shocked. But this time it was worse than the last time. It put me into more pain to the point where I was screaming, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
The nurses had to help me take pills, quite literally one putting a pill into my mouth and the other one putting water into my mouth because I could not move. It was so bad. But then I got oxycodone via an injection and suddenly felt all right again.
Amazing. And how many times did you have sepsis? Twice?
Twice.
And how many blood transfusions?
3 blood transfusions.
3 blood transfusions. Because your various elements of the blood were so low, there were different things for different transfusions, weren't they?
She says that she went for blood transfusions. I think she went for the red stuff, really.
Yeah, well, the wine.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. But the chemo's over. But halfway through the chemo, we went in for a face-to-face meeting. And they don't have to take their time getting to the information that you want. They did it with me. They went round and round and round the houses. And eventually they said, and this was quite amusing, they said, so we're delighted to tell you, Layla, that you're in remission. Layla didn't know what remission meant.
What's that?
Yeah, she just had a PICC line removed, which basically is a permanent cannula which runs in all the way in and a tube all the way close to the heart. And upon removal, she had this blood clot, which she's still having injections now, which is horrendous, all the way up there.
That's actually lightened up a lot now.
It has got a lot
So,
better.
yeah, lovely clot line.
So, I mean, if she could get it wrong, she would get it wrong. And, sorry, but she said, so what's remission? And I said, well, if your arm didn't hurt so much right now, we'd be doing a high five because you've done it, you've beaten it. for me, I had this huge lump in my throat, you know, at that point, and I was tearing up. I am a little bit now. It was such an emotional experience. Karen's petrified of hospitals, has a genuine phobia of all places medical, except perhaps the vet. So we could take you to the vet next time, couldn't we? You know, but it.
I know what it's like to have sepsis, but not the same as Layla.
You had it when you had our youngest, didn't you?
That's why I don't like hospitals.
And it's bloody awful. It really is. But 4 more rounds or another 8 sessions of chemo, okay, and we got a PET scan in 2 days today.
PET scan's on the 25th of June.
And then we're in a week later for the results, isn't it?
The results.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's all clear.
We've been away on holiday. When we went away, Layla didn't have any hair.
No hair at all.
Now she's got a little bit of bum.
She was
fluff.
a little. Oh look. Little cue ball beforehand. So
Little
we're going to
bit
call her
above
little
her.
baby bird now, because they all called me that when I lost mine.
And it's coming back blonde.
And do you know what? I tell you what, that's a really brave thing to do, to take that off in camera.
Yes.
It really is.
Well, from my aspect, you know, I went from being a healthy 20-year-old, you know, I had just turned 20, then a couple months later, it went downhill, and people my age, they should be out partying, clubbing, and gone out with their mates.
We should be telling you off in the morning because you rocked up at 4 a.m. throwing up around the toilet, but it was different, wasn't it? A bit different.
You know, I've spent the majority of my 20s.
Did tell her it's going to come back ginger. It's not. It's coming back blonde.
Oh God. But I've spent the majority of
in
my
just
20s.
In just a few weeks' time, we've got a lot of the locals where we are, and friends of ours. We're all going to the town fete, and we're going to do a mass head shave, and we're going to raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support and the Teenage Cancer Trust. I'll show a link in the description, but I'll also pop it up on the video so you can see it. It's a Just Giving link. It's only just started, and if you want to donate, please do that. Everything is all going to the charities, and we just feel that after our experience, mostly your experience, but I went with Layla to all of the chemo, and we were in a young adult and teenage and young adult ward.
Ages 13 to 24.
13 to 24. And we saw so many kids in there in similar conditions. 1 or 2 had had limbs removed, and they were all having chemo. We chatted with one of the oncology nurses, and a really nice chap. What was his name?
Toby.
Toby. And I said to him, "What's the youngest you've had to give chemo to?" And I was blown away, and he said to me, a day old baby having chemo. And what a welcome to the world that is.
But the baby did survive.
Baby survived.
Yeah.
And I think our oncology services, Macmillan and all of the other trusts, are phenomenal. We dedicate all of our videos to Stand Up to Cancer, but this video is going to have Macmillan and Teenage Cancer Trust logos on there too.
Yeah.
Right, because it's important to you, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what's mostly important now is I'm still 20 years old. I turned 21 this year, but I'd like to mostly spread awareness, because you can be any age, you can be healthy. Like, I had nothing with me. I was out working full time, and all of a sudden...
What stage cancer was it?
We found out, wasn't it?
We were going through the paperwork.
Yeah, after our first round, it was stage 4.
Stage
we had
4.
no idea.
Frighten the life out of us.
So
Absolutely frighten the life out of us.
Didn't we ring the oncologist or ask at the next face-to-face if that was life-threatening?
Yeah. And they actually said, look, stage 4 lymphoma is different to stage 4 lung or liver or breast or whatever else, which is very, very life-threatening. And all the way along, they said, they kept using the same phrase, absolutely treatable, didn't they?
Curable.
Right the way through. And it kind of left you with a grey area. They didn't say, yes, we will definitely do it. And they said the same with me. You said to me, they said, we absolutely expect to cure you. Absolutely expect. Leaves that grey area of doubt. And that tiny grey area is massive in here. It's huge. And I confess now, constantly throughout, the feeling of dread for those meetings and hearing, you just wanted them to get to it. And, you know, what is it? Have we done it? Yes, we have. Instead, they go round and round and round and round, and they've got to. There's all these, not laws, but rules and regs that say they have to do it that way. But they were terrific people, weren't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely. I mean,
Hats off.
Without them.
Without
where
them,
would I be? Where would you
well,
be?
actually, out with the NHS, amazing. If it weren't for them, neither of you two would be here today.
That's it. They've saved my life twice.
And mine, and they've saved hers.
That's it. Thank you, NHS.
Yeah.
So look, if you have something that's not right and it's a long-lasting cough or a pain and it doesn't go away, don't wait.
Don't wait.
Get it checked out. What's it going to take? Look, it's going to take a blood test or a scan or something else. But perhaps if we'd found yours earlier or mine earlier, the treatment would have been less. Because I had 6 sessions of chemo. You've had 16.
Yep.
And she walks around with a little walking stick. Not so much now.
I can get to and from the shop now, but that's
Yeah.
just about it.
But before, crossing the road was tough. You know, and if you have kids or you're Layla's age or younger and you're watching this video, go get checked out. If you're not sure about something, just go. You might have to do 13 hours in A&E, but that's worth it. It really is worth it, isn't it?
It's worth it. I mean, it's that or losing your life, and well, it's a pretty easy decision.
Yeah. So, in a future video, we'll announce the results of how much we raised and Layla's results.
And hair growth.
And by then she'll have some more than just a little bum fluff on the top. Ouch.
That's what we did to you.
Yeah, they did. They call me rude names. So, Layla, we love you lots and we think you're fantastic. You've done this enormously, fantastically well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please press the subscribe button. Can't even say it, choking up that much. Don't forget to like the video, share it, do all of that stuff. Press the notification button and you'll get told when we do another video. Thanks for coming. This is a very different video, this one, isn't it? We started off with canals and we ended up with this, but we felt you had to know.
Yep.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Ring this bell 3 times well. It's told to clearly say my treatment's done. This course is run and I am on my way.
With a choke in my voice, we can't say thank you enough to you guys. You've absolutely all been brilliant. Sorry about that.
Present for you. Right, thank you. There's some cakes and sweets in the ward that I brought in.
Thank you so much.
They're all sugar free.